breaking updates now coming in. Shashi Tharoor may call for retaliation and reciprocal tariffs, but India is being very firm but measured in response, reiterating that the Indian imports are based on market factors and its national interest. The MEA has in fact called these additional tariffs extremely unfortunate, calling out the United States for penalizing India for actions that several other countries are also taking. Now, look at the statement that has been issued. This is by the Ministry of External Affairs. It goes on to say the United States has in recent days targeted India's oil imports from Russia. We have already made our position very, very clear about this on the issues, including the fact that our imports are based on market factors and done with the overall objective of ensuring the energy security of 1.4 billion people of India. So saying that it is nation first, these are the decisions we are taking in national interest. It is therefore extremely unfortunate that the US should choose to impose additional tariff on India for actions that several other countries are also taking in their own national interest. So India has called out the double standards of the United States, saying that it's not just India. There are other countries as well that are buying oil from Russia, but similar action has been spared for them. So what is the question? So calling out the US double standards here in very firm but measured way. Going on to say we reiterate that these actions are unfair, unjustified and unreasonable. India will take all actions necessary to protect its national interests. This is the response that has come in from the Ministry of External Affairs. But we have more breaking updates now coming in on being asked that Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil, like China, for instance. Why are you singling out India for these additional sanctions? The US President Donald Trump has responded saying it's only been 8 hours, so let's see what happens. That's a statement being issued saying let's see what happens. You're going to see a lot more. You're going to be seeing so much secondary sanction. This is the claim that has been made by President Trump.
Let me go, please.
Indian officials have said that there are other countries that are buying Russian oil.
It's okay.
Like China, for instance,
it's
buying more.
Yeah.
Why are you singling India out for these additional sanctions?
It's only been 8 hours, so let's see what happens over the next.
Sanctions.
You're going to see a lot more.
So this is a taste of
You're going to see a lot more. You're going to see so much secondary sanctions. Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. Often been described as a petulant man who throws tantrums and goes by his own whims and fancies, Srinjoy. Trump now says you're going to see much more secondary sanctions as well. What would this mean?
Well, first of all, Donald Trump, the American president, often uses things like this 25% penalty as a first throw of the dice. Now, which means that it is a negotiating tactic. Already you have imposed 25%. Now when this 25% penalty comes up, you're up to 50%. Now during negotiations, this can well come down to, let's say, 30%, just as an example. And Donald Trump will say, see, we have helped you out, we are working for you. So this could well be a negotiating tactic. That is the first thing. Is it the first throw of the dice, or is this the bottom line? That is something India has to work out, because India will negotiate with America in a couple of days. In a few days, you will have American negotiators come to India to discuss the tariff issue. And that is the time India can tell America very clearly that, look here, this is not on. And very interestingly, America has made 2 points in the past which actually support India's argument. The first is that when India buys Russian crude oil, the prices of crude oil in the international market stay down. So that actually helps the whole world. Secondly, America has said publicly that when India buys Russian crude oil and refines it and exports it to America, America views it as Indian oil. Now, if that is so, then why are these 25% penalties on India?
Absolutely, and these questions remain, but when asked about it and when called out on these double standards, the US president didn't seem to have too many answers. He only went on to say, in the next couple of hours, you're going to see a lot more. So it is this India first doctrine that has the US President Donald Trump squirming. Just yesterday, India had in fact exposed a stunning case of the American hypocrisy, leaving the world's most outspoken leader mumbling. India pointed out an inconvenient truth about the US trade with Russia and left Trump tongue-tied. India says that the US imports Russian